All right, so this is the tournament feedback form. I started doing it and then I lost it because I had to restart my computer, so I'm just going to do this on camera. And the first question for any of the tournaments, and I'm doing this because there's some nuance to some of my answers, so I thought, I know the guys that run the tournament, they watch my videos, and so I wanted to give my thoughts as I was answering them, because sometimes when you do these surveys, you intend them to think you're thinking one thing and they take it a different. So I thought it'd be a good idea just to record my thoughts as I fill this out. So the first one is, from any of the tournaments you have attended, what version of scoring did you enjoy the most? Okay, so my answer would be progressive. I like the if you have it at the end, then people can game the system and just wait for the end and then jump on all the objectives and win it there. Whereas if you have progressive, you are capturing the board and moving through. So I thought that was, I think you should get credit for holding on to objectives longer. I do believe that you should get double points if you hold on to it at the end, so that it's kind of a hybrid between the end of the game scoring and the progressive. Because if you take over most of the board and then they counterattack and take over, I mean, you should have a chance to win if you're getting pushed around the beginning and then you do some really good counterattacks and take over the board at the end. Maybe even have like a home objective that's double points or something like that. There's a couple ways to do it. However, I really like the card system the best. That makes the game more interesting and fun. Yes, you don't get a pure experience of the regular scoring system because you're doing little side missions, but I think it's more fun to do that. But I haven't seen that in a tournament yet. So they said, from any of the tournaments you have attended, I've only seen the regular and the progressive. So my first answer is progressive. But let's see. I mean, I don't know if I should put that in there. Let's see what other questions they have before I put that in there. What is your opinion on sideboards? I love them. I think it makes it secures you against making a list and then somebody comes with an all-out swarm list or tank list or something, and then you don't have anything to deal with it, or you have to do an all-comers list and spread your guys around, and then somebody comes with a, like I said, a totally focused list that you can't fully deal with, and it's not really fair. But if you have a sideboard, you can at least enhance a weakness or a strength that you may need against a particular opponent. So, for instance, in this past tournament, they saw I had basically a swarm army, and so they took the option that would deal with swarms the best, and at least gave them more of a chance to deal with them. So that's what I mean by I love them. They definitely should be in every tournament. Maybe not in casual, because you know who you're playing in casual. You know what they're probably going to bring. As you know each other, or you show each other lists, and then you can make modifications as needed. But in a tournament, you have to play several players, and they could be totally different lists, and you want to be able to adjust to each list. So I think sideboards are great. Should we implement any limits to list building? I don't know how to answer that because, maybe I should just put ban alien hives. So they might think this is somebody else. No, this is me, guys. I think you should ban my list. I'll put an LOL so they know it's me. They ended up being ridiculous for me. I don't know how anybody could beat them. They're just that head and shoulders above the rest, and I'd hate to see everybody bring alien hives all the time. Just have an alien hives tournament. Although that actually would be cool to see that happen, but I think something needs to be done But other than that, I think OPR is very well balanced for the most part, and I don't think you really need to do anything. So I'm kind of saying this as a joke. That's why I put LOL. So when you see that, guys, know that that's what I meant. How did the time limits on the games feel? I think it was perfect. I didn't see anybody getting rushed or anything like that. I know the tournament organizer came around and said, hey, we're at the halfway point, and it didn't bother me one bit. We finished our games on time. One thing that OPR does that is really good, their rules are simple, so you can get through them quickly. You're not looking up rules in the rule booklet and combos and getting tournament organizer. I had one rule dispute, which I was totally wrong on. The guy showed me the rule, or Devin showed me the rule, and I was like, okay, you're right. And that was it. That was the only rule reference we really had to go into. And that was it. How many games per tournament? Did 4 feel like too many, too few? I think 4 is right for 1,000 points. 3 for 2,000 and above. All right, so yeah, the 4 rounds was perfect for 1,000 points. These games went by very quickly. You're definitely going to, I didn't time myself, but I'm pretty sure we had plenty of time to spare for the 1 hour that they gave us. And I think the other tournament, it was like 3,000 points, if I'm not mistaken. It was 2,500 and then 500 sideboard, something like that. And that one, a couple games got a little close to the end or a little bit over, but they built in some extra time for that to happen. So yeah, when you get above 2,000 points, I wonder if a 1,500 with a 500 sideboard would be kind of the sweet spot. I'm just spitballing here, because 2,000 I think is perfect, but then you don't have a sideboard, and if you put a 500 sideboard, then it's 2,500, and that's when you're starting to really push it for 3 games in a tournament. So I wonder if 1,500 with a 500 sideboard would be something they would think about. So because this was 1,250 ultimately, 1,000 with a 250 sideboard, I thought that was great. 4x4 board, made things very quick. I think the first tournament that I played with them was 1,000 points, a 4x4 board, and those games went very, very quick. So I think 2,000 total, including sideboard, is probably your sweet spot, and that would be a 3-game tournament. And I think 3 games is enough. You do a Swiss modified, you're going to find the best players playing against each other. And maybe if you have too many players, and 3 rounds is not enough, then have 3 round robin, and then if you need another game to find the champion, then those 2 play, they stay afterwards and they play the extra game or something, and people can stay and play an extra game while they're playing or watch or whatever. But yeah, I think 3 would be, if you're getting much more than 1,000 points, then you've got to go with 3 rounds. If you can prove anything for future tournaments, what would it be? I don't, I would say have some sort of divisions or ranking, so that maybe, if you have a noob bracket, I don't know. The tournaments are set up very much to my liking, obviously. I'm trying to think of this as somebody that was new, because when I first came into the tournament, I really didn't know what I was doing. And if they had a bracket for newer players so that they could play against each other and learn the game without pressure of having to win, and then they would get a couple wins right off the bat and be able to progress. Now that probably sets them up for, a butt kicking by one of the more veteran players later on tournament, but at least they're getting wins. At least they have chances to win. And they would have enough experience by the time they get to a tough player, um, or rankings where the top players play each other right in the beginning. The players that are newer play against each other right in the beginning. I don't know. I I'm just spitballing. We were talking about having a division of fantasy. They all play each other because it was about half and half, sci-fi versus fantasy. And I thought if we could figure out a way to make that happen where half of us played fantasy and half of us played sci-fi, then we can have our own tournaments. The sci-fi do their own tournaments. Let's say you have 4 sci-fi and 4 Age of Fantasy. You do 3 rounds, and they basically do a round robin with those 4 players. And the top players from each division play a World Series, a championship game, uh, that decides who is the best, the fantasy or the sci-fi. So we were talking about that. I thought that might be a good idea. I don't know. It could be a disaster. It's never been tried, but that was something that I thought was cool because most of the time it was sci-fi, but there was plenty of fantasy armies this time around. And me personally, I would love to play fantasy. Um, Maybe I should just put in um, fantasy themed event. I don't know. Use the the card scoring system. I'm just going to put hard to improve here. Yeah, because they do such a great job. I don't. I don't know. I mean, maybe get an account with one of the places for lunch so we could all go together. I had to go to Chick-fil-A because my son has allergies, and Chick-fil-A, and he can only eat at certain places, so I couldn't hang out with the guys where they were going. But I don't know. That's a tough question. Miscellaneous notes and suggestions. I don't, you know, shoot. More tournaments in the summer is what I would like to see because I'm done with school middle of June, and so we have tournaments in July. I should say July. That's fine. Yeah, I could be there a lot in July. So I would like to see July tournaments, or at least one. If they have one in the summer, once a season. Tournament season would be great. So that's what I'm going to. Let me review what I got here. Progressive. Yeah, I put the other stuff in there. Use a card scoring system. But what they've used so far, I prefer the progressive. Sideboards, love them. Ban alien hives. Look great. Yeah, I just think they did a great job. And this is another sign that you are dealing with people that really know what they're doing when they've got a feedback form that they send out to everybody, and they're always looking to improve. No matter how great they are, they're still looking to be better. So yeah, I mean I think the best way, if they had a tournament closer to my house, so I didn't have to travel so far, maybe I should put that in there. Do a tournament in, misspelled that. Tournament in Winston-Salem. Let's see. I don't know if they'll be willing to do that, but Winston-Salem's a lot closer to me. Um, but, you know, they play over there. All those guys live over there in the Durham, I think it's the Durham area. It's over by Duke University. And yeah, as long as they keep doing tournaments, I'm going to show up. They're a really great group of guys. A very, very smooth system that they use over there. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this, and then I'm going to upload this video. So thanks for watching. I know if you didn't go to a tournament, or if you are nowhere near North Carolina, this wasn't that important a video to you. But if you're in the North Carolina area, check out, let's see, the Discord. It is One Page Rules North Carolina. See if you can get up with them. They are a great group. If you're in the North Carolina area, I believe they play like once a week or once every 2 weeks. They play a lot, and so Atomic Empire is a great place to play. Lots of tables, lots of room, lots of facilities that you can do over there. And then when they post a tournament, definitely show up. They definitely deserve more attention. You know, in fact, that if I were advising Tano over at One Page Rules, I would get up with these guys and do some sort of regional tournament because they know what they're doing and they need to be officially recognized by One Page Rules. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.